Hello, and I am Dr. Corey King, and I've been practicing functional medicine for the last 15 years. My specialty is working with autoimmune thyroid patients, chronic viruses such as Epstein-Barr virus, and Lyme disease. In today's video, we're going to be talking about iodine and Hashimoto's disease. Now, this video hits really close to home because this is all about my wife, Natasha. I'm going to be showing you data on Natasha to explain why iodine is so important and why your doctor needs to be checking your levels. And if they're not, this is a big piece of the puzzle that your doctor may be missing, which may just help get you to that next level and accomplish some of your health goals or just feeling well again. So, quick backstory. My wife Natasha has Hashimoto's disease. She developed this due to chronic mold toxicity. We didn't know we had mold in our home, and then that triggered Epstein-Barr virus to then start attacking her thyroid, and then that triggered Hashimoto's disease. So it took us a while to get her through detoxifying the mold, getting the Epstein-Barr virus under control, and our big goal was to have a family. We've been wanting a family for several years. We finally got her to the point where she was kicking butt. We had an amazing last year because we were exposed to mold again 2 years ago, unfortunately. But we had an amazing last year. She was feeling the best that she's ever felt. If you've seen some of our videos of us playing in the mountains, you know what I mean by that. So January was her goal. She wanted to get pregnant in January. So before doing that, I wanted to check her thyroid. Now, Natasha hasn't been on any thyroid support in a very, very long time. The reason? She's been feeling great. We've been supporting her genetic mutations. She's been taking everything that she needs to help her body just feel as well as possible. So she wasn't on any thyroid hormones. Now, when we checked her hormones in January, this is them right here. So let's go over those. You're going to see TSH is 1.9, not a big deal. TSH fluctuates in everybody, so don't base thyroid health on TSH. Her T4 was at 6.4. Technically, that's not low, but I like to see that a little bit higher. T4 is the main hormone that your thyroid is releasing. It gets converted to T3. Her T3 was very low at 69. I did not like seeing this. Why do I not like seeing this? I work with a lot of families, unfortunately, after they have miscarriages. They reach out, Dr. King, I had 1 or 2 miscarriages. We want to have a family. Help me. When we look at their hormones, one thing that I find in common is really low T3 levels. So when I saw this level, it really freaked me out. I didn't want to even try to start to have a baby yet because I was worried about, my gosh, if we got pregnant and my wife miscarried the very first time out, emotionally that's going to be devastating to her and to myself. Her free T3 was at 2.2. I like to see that between 3 and 4. So we've got some hormones that are really low. But take a look at this. I ran her iodine levels. This is the first time we've ever checked iodine in Natasha. Why is it the first time? I was always taught, and I had great teachers and great mentors over the last 15 years. I was always taught to avoid iodine in Hashimoto's patients. I can make them worse, I can flare them up, they can feel really crummy. I did see that happen firsthand when patients that were diagnosed with hypothyroid, their doctors put them on a high dose of iodine, and next thing you know, they're feeling horrible. You check their markers, and it actually caused Hashimoto's disease to turn on. So I saw that in a few patients over the last 15 years. What my mentors and my teachers taught me stuck with me, but I don't tend to listen. So I checked iodine. I was just curious. Here's Natasha's iodine. It's the last marker here. It's at 39.9. Low. So ideally, let's see that around 50 or 60 at least. So if the iodine levels are low, your body is going to have a hard time making thyroid hormone. So we saw this. I put her on a little bit of iodine. She's my wife. She was going to be my guinea pig. We put her on 40 micrograms of iodine. Along with that iodine, we put her on some thyroid glandular, some pituitary glandular, which is the organ that tells the hypothalamus, another organ in the brain, to tell the thyroid, hey thyroid, release hormone. And the same product has some adrenal gland support in it as well, along with spleen and thymus glandulars. So we put her on this, and the goal was to get her levels up before we conceived. But my wife wanted to rush into things, and so she got pregnant right away. She got pregnant right towards the end of January, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm inside freaking out because of her T3 levels. So we checked her markers again right after we found out that she was pregnant. This is the end of January. you're going to see her iodine is 37.7. It hasn't come up yet. It actually took a little dip, and the reason it took a dip is because she conceived. Homocysteine was 9.1. This is something we didn't check in January, but now that she was pregnant, I wanted to check her homocysteine. She has a lot of methylation mutations, so I wanted to know how much methylation support was she going to need during pregnancy. T4 was 5.8. It took a dip, very common in pregnancy, and her T3 hadn't changed very much. It went to 70, and her free T3 went to 2.4. It came up slightly. Still nowhere near what I would like to see him. I'm still freaking out on the inside. We increased her iodine to 80 micrograms. Along with that, we increased those glandulars to support those organs. So then what we did was we rechecked her hormones on 318. So we gave her body a little longer time to adjust to increasing the iodine in the glandulars. Take a look at this. T4 was 9.9, came up significantly. Her total T3, 127, came up significantly, almost 50 points. Her free T3 is at 2.9. Awesome. You can look at the very bottom and see her iodine, 51.3. Bingo. We've got it. We found her dose that she needed. This is during pregnancy as well. So a lot of times, as I mentioned earlier, when women are pregnant, they require more thyroid support because they have this baby that is growing, and that baby is dependent upon healthy thyroid hormone. I was ecstatic. Once I got these numbers back, I could breathe a little bit. Natasha could relax because now I wasn't worried about her miscarrying. Let's fast forward to April. We rechecked her markers April 20th. T4, 9.1, still really good. We look at her T3, 148. So much better. This is almost a 70% jump in 3 months. And this is, again, during pregnancy. We were ecstatic about this. Her iodine was at 48.7. It went down a little bit. I'm finding that this is going to fluctuate during our pregnant patients. So I wasn't concerned about it because it's still above the normal range. When we saw this, we just said, okay, we're keeping you at the same dose. We'll recheck you in another month down the road. So towards the end of May, we'll recheck her thyroid hormones. We'll see how they're doing. As of right now, as of yesterday, she's feeling fantastic. She is 18 weeks as of tomorrow. Energy's up. She's going to the gym. She's working out. We're mountain biking, granted, on flat, easy roads. She's taking it easy. She has to actually fly out to New Mexico tomorrow on an out and back for work. And then when she comes back, we're going to go camping for the weekend. This is how well she's feeling, even with Hashimoto's, during pregnancy. So I wanted to share this information with you because I want you to make sure your doctor is checking your iodine levels. Don't be afraid of iodine. I had to learn that through my wife, and since then we've been using this same idea and using this data from my wife to use the iodine support on my Hashimoto's patients, and across the board we're seeing the same thing. Feeling better, levels are improving. Perfect. It's just one piece of the puzzle. Have your doctor check the iodine, have your doctor check all of your thyroid hormones. Go back in this video, look at all the thyroid hormones and say, doctor, make sure you're going to run all of these, and if not, find a doctor that will. If you're having a tough time finding a doctor that is checking iodine, running full thyroid hormones, is experienced with Hashimoto's disease, reach out to me. I do work with patients via telemedicine, and we can help you get all this done. So we're really excited. She's feeling great, and I think a lot of that has to do with just this last missing piece of the puzzle for her, which was low iodine. So we'll see you on the next weekly rounds.